I've analyzed my entire collection of board games, and those in front of me are the ones that I play all the time, or just enough that I would never even consider getting rid of. Let's talk about that. This topic has been on my mind for a while now, and I had a conversation with the folks in the Discord about this, and I wanted to bring the conversation to you, have a dialogue in the comments down below, and just be able to talk freely about how we consume this hobby and the questions that arise because of it. So let's begin. Recently, there's been a change in the way that I have been consuming this board game hobby. It used to be that I would buy everything and sell everything just as quickly as I purchased it. I wanted to be the person who bought it, tried it, and then if I hit, great. If it didn't, I culled it. I'm not looking forward to having a collection of 1,000 games. I don't have the space, money, or time for that, but I wanted to be someone who just continued to try new things. And I wanted to cull games because it gave me great joy to get rid of games that I wasn't playing and pass them off to someone who would. However, over the past few months, I've stopped really buying that many games. I can count maybe on 2 hands the number of games I've purchased this year, and a lot of them have been fairly small, roll and writes or cat in the box or something like that. And it makes it hard to cull a bunch of games when I'm not also acquiring a bunch of games. Yet I still want to. And I think that that is the crux of the question, right? When should one be content and happy with their collection as a whole and not looking to acquire, or in my case, get rid of more? I have some bullet points that I want to bring up, but for the most part, this is just a true discussion. I want to bring my feelings as they come to you, and I want to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. The big thing for me is that when I was first getting into board games, I was the board game guy, right? I was the collection haver. I was the board game bringer. If I went to a party, if I had my family over and my friends over, I provided the games. Now, I still do, but not really, or I don't have to. When I play games, it's with Doolin, or it's with Kenny, or it's at a board game get-together. It's very rare that I have my family or non-gamer friends over to play board games anymore. In fact, Danielle and I almost never play board games these days, which is unfortunate, but we're all busy and we have a family of 3.5 that is growing, and it is hard to find the time in our day-to-day. So, do I need to hold on to these games? In fact, there is a cull video coming up in which multiple games on that list are because they're so popular that everyone else has them. I'm not going to disclose that list now, but come back next week and you'll see my list of games that I'm getting rid of, and you'll see which ones I'm probably referring to. Do I need to have these games? Do I need a collection that's even 1/3 of this size when I'm almost never playing them? When I play, it's either with someone else who could bring the games just as easily, or we're playing a few staples, but nothing that I have to have on this shelf. I look behind me here, I see Glenmore, Orleans, I see Sorcerer City, Role Player Adventure, Spirit Island, all games that I really like, with the exception of Sorcerer City, which I've yet to play, but all games that I don't often get to the table without fellow gamers who already own these. Or there's a replacement that we could just play instead. I'm in this weird headspace where I'm trying to decide if it's worth me owning these, if it's worth the possibility of me actually playing them, when it's quite unlikely that I do. The next bullet point I have here is something that I've already touched on, but I don't play games that often anymore. I hope my situation changes in the future, and that's where I have a bit of pause in actually getting rid of these games. You see, when I say I don't play games very often anymore, I come at that from a very privileged stance. I still play games almost at least once a week. Almost every week I play a game or two with Doolin when he comes over. It's not to say every week. There are times where we miss, or we're too busy, we're recording videos, we don't actually play anything, but I very often play once a week with Kenny or Doolin. I almost never play with anyone else, though. I don't play with Danielle, really. I don't play with my family. We used to play more games. I don't play with any real friends other than Doolin and Kenny. There's Kyle, there's Andrew, there's people that come in from out of town, but those are special occasions. In a normal day-to-day, I'm not playing often. And I'm often playing new stuff. For whether that be for the YouTube channel or because Doolin has a game he wants to teach or because, we're just trying new things, because that's part of why I enjoy the hobby so much, is trying new things. But that again leads me back to, do I need a giant collection of games when I'm mostly playing new stuff on the rare occasions that I actually do play? Again, I know that's a privileged stance, rare occasions once a week. I realize that. I didn't even used to play them half that much, but there was a point where I was playing them with my family and Danielle and friends 2, 3, 4 nights a week, or very regularly, and I had all the time in the world without the children, and I could do whatever we wanted. And now that's not the case. But eventually my kids will grow up, eventually they'll move out, but that's a very long way away, and I'm not certain that I need to hold on to these for all that time. And this could be an entire video in and of itself, but will be quite brief right now, and that is campaign games. I love these games, or I love the idea of these games. I have written down, desire is not equal to ability. I love the idea of campaign games. If you look on the shelf behind me, I have Kingdom Death Monster, I have Mechs vs. Minions, I have Role Player Adventures, I have Clank Legacy, I have Gloomhaven, I have Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, I have Betrayal Legacy, I have Zombie Kids Evolution, there's probably more. I have Frosthaven coming, I have Aeon Trespass Odyssey coming. The problem being, I don't have a dedicated space, nor do I have the time to really dive into those. They sit there on the shelf, eyes longing to play them, but they never actually hit the table. Should I get rid of them? Or should I hold on to them for the 5% chance or 1% chance that eventually they'll hit and they'll be a staple that we're able to play the entire way through? You see, Gloomhaven, I'm like 90% of the way done with, but unlikely to ever finish it. Betrayal Legacy, about halfway done with it, unlikely to ever finish it, mostly due to the players that I was playing that with having moved away and me not really feeling comfortable just bringing a new group halfway into a session or really struggling with the idea of getting back to it. There's this dozen games on my shelf that I can almost guarantee you will never be played, or at least not for a very long while. Do I keep them? Again, with the false hope that maybe one day they'll make it? Or are they safe culls? And I just need to give up on campaign gaming if I'm the one hosting. I don't know. Again, all just a great big conversation with the cats around. We're just having a good talk about collections and how you consume the hobby. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be a board game collector. There's nothing wrong with wanting to own every game under the sun and not caring if you play them often or not. That is 100% fine. But that's not how I've been feeling lately. I love to cull, you know that. And I'm struggling with the fact that my collection is dwindling, but my desire to cull is still here, but my options are becoming increasingly difficult to get rid of. There are a couple games that you'll see in the cull video that I'm fine getting rid of. Punt them, I don't care, get them out of here. But the vast majority of them are tough decisions and games that I want to keep, but I don't think I should. It's a conundrum, and I don't have an answer. But I'm hopeful that maybe you can lead me into the right direction, can point me towards the light, show me the way. What do you think I should do? How do you handle this, if this is even a discussion point for you? Are you someone who holds on to everything? Are you someone who gets rid of everything or holds on to only those that you know you will table? Because quite frankly, if I looked at my collection and I said, I'm only keeping the games that I know that I can get to the table semi-consistently, and I'm talking like semi-consistently, not even that much, once every 6 months. I should make a list of this. Let me know if you want to see this. I think if I made a list of games that I know for certain that I can table every 6 months or so, I'm probably looking at a collection of 10 to 15 games. If that. I don't know. maybe I'd make this list and it ended up being 30. Maybe I'd make this list and it ended up being 5. Off the top, I imagine that I would have a list of 15 games or so. This is a collection of just over 100 games. Last I counted, it's changed since then, but that I'm aware of, it's about just over 100 games. And I think I could get rid of 80% of it if I just went with, will I play it in the next 6 months? And that's kind of scary to me and unfortunate. I don't like that I play as few games as I do. Again, please understand, I know I'm coming at this from a very privileged standpoint. There are probably many of you watching that play games every night, and probably many of you watching that haven't played a game in 6 months. And I totally get that I'm coming at it from a privileged standpoint of someone who is still able to regularly play, but I don't usually get repeat plays of these games that I love, and I find myself asking, do I let go? Do I hold on? Quite frankly, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this conundrum. How do you handle it? How do you go about making a collection? How do you consume this hobby? As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you want to see my next culling video, which is coming soon, and a return of the hotness. Should be a good one. We'll see you next time.